Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, that is the reason I'm asking is it may be of interest, to the spiritual caregiving because, it's a kind of monastic training. When you go through monastic training, usually there are some basic requirements. Yeah. So you become a novice monk, and then when you are 20 in the Theravada tradition, then you become kind of high ordinate.
Upasampada.
Upasampada. It's called Upasampada. Upasampada. Yeah. So I think in other traditions too, like I know Zen tradition has something similar. Don't you, Keith?
We basically, our teachers have about 3 levels. It may vary with the tradition.
Yeah.
What I know is there's like a standard teacher, and then a senior teacher, and then a master called a Roshi. So I'm only first level. Okay.
Yeah.
You keep calling me Roshi, but that isn't. You're teasing me.
Well, you have been promoted very quickly.
I'm very and my there were 2 of us, straightforward teachers, and on Sunday we had a ceremony which elevated him to be a senior teacher, and that includes his challenge was he doesn't know what it's going to be, but on the day we have these books of koans, these questions and the like, and they're hundreds. And the candidate, my friend Mark, the Roshi gives him a number, one of these koans, and then he has to give him a Dharma talk there and then on that, and then we have what we call Dharma Combat, where everybody fires him a question and he has to answer, like boom, no pausing, and the questions come like one after the other, and each one has to be responded to instantaneously, no pause. And there were about 50 people firing questions at him.
Oh my word, that sounds like a real combat.
It is.
Yeah. So what if he, I mean, he gets assessed on those questions, right? Is it a panel?
No, it's each person. So if I ask you a question, what day is it? And you say Tuesday, I say congratulations. And if I don't like the answer, I will say more. Or counter question until you're satisfied, and then the next person. But the tempo is kept up, the speed and the pressure is kept up. The broad principle is that you should answer from your belly, your heart, and not from your rational thinking mind. So the pressure comes on to keep you working from your intuitive mind.
Yeah.
But we have some people here, and they may be able to describe what happens to them, but that's in our Rinzai tradition.
Oh, wow. So are there any other Rinzai Zen? Who else is Rinzai here?
I thought we had some Zen people anyway.
Yeah, there are Soto Zen, and
they may do something similar. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds very robust. I mean, really.
It's in.
Yeah. I think it is also in the Theravada tradition. When you go to high ordination, it is a scary. I mean, it used to be really scary stuff. You until you are asked to stop, you have to keep chanting, like say 443 Dhammapada verses. You have to know, by its order, and then anywhere, in the Tripitaka, in the Pali anywhere they can ask questions, and you got to answer them all. So yeah, I mean, the reason this conversation is important to us is, you know, when you're actually carers, spiritual caregivers in the Buddhist context, you know how impromptu, how you know, robust it can get. I mean, you know, I think rising to the occasion is the word expression, isn't it? Like and I think you know, like when I was interviewed in the MOD, Ministry of Defense, I mean, there were 4 generals and 2 monks and 2 lay people. Like, you know, they fired so many questions at me to check my suitability as a chaplain. I mean, this is a work setting, not a you know, religious context. But I think you know, basically what they want to know is how you respond to different situations and whether, you know, you feel confident. Yeah, I mean, that is kind of one aspect of spiritual caregiving. Another aspect is to be there, you know, just being there, you know. So, you know, it shouldn't be a scary business just to be there. Yeah, so in the Theravada tradition, the seniority also has, like, is it Thera and Mahathera, isn't it? Bhante, now I have forgotten it. Is it the, you know, after, you know, like after Upasampada, then 10 years after you becomes a Thera, right? Huh?
Stavira, right?
Stavira. Stavira and the Thera is the same thing, isn't it? Yeah. So then you can use the title Thero, right?
Thero, yeah.
And then you become, is it, you know, Mahathera?
20
Huh?
20 years. After
20 years.
20,
After
yeah.
Upasampada, 20.
20 years after
20.
Upasampada. Yeah, in terms of time. But there is also yeah, Mahathera. So what is next? What's after Mahathera?
Mahathera.
so
Sorry?
That's only right. Thera,
Yeah, that's all.
Mahathera.
Yeah, Mahathera, and then it becomes like, you know, you can get other ranks like
Nayaka.
Anunayaka,
Yeah.
Mahanayaka, and yeah, so there are different ranks. It's like in the military, you have the rank structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, correct. And then you actually you qualify to ordinate or higher ordinate somebody after some experience, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. No, that was I mean, that is just I think just to give you an idea that in every tradition there is this aspect of, you know, spiritual caregiving, and the caregiver's background, level, you know, qualification and confidence. And I think more than anything else, it is the confidence that really matters, isn't it? And that is why, you know, the reason why we learn Pali or Sanskrit or other source languages is to gain that confidence and the text understanding. Yeah. Okay, Julie says, okay, so, okay, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so welcome everybody to our 6th Pali session. So since you have survived 5 sessions already, I know some of you may have questions, and you know, some of maybe you know, it may be this, you know, just please send me some feedback. The feedback has been quite positive, I must say. Nobody complains overly, so which is a good news. But please feel free, because I think this is a collective learning. I want to emphasize that this is not a kind of a one-way teaching. Though you are used to sort of university type of learning, this is a more of a collective learning. So we are learning from each other, and so I think the Buddhist learning is that very much reflective practice. Contemplative studies is about collective learning. So therefore, I fire some questions at you from time to time, and I think I'm very happy with some of your homework. You seem to take it to heart and done some good work. But at the same time, please feel free to, if you have any questions, fire at me. I just sort of open this session 6 o'clock in your time, 5 o'clock UK time, in case anybody wants to come and ask a question. And so even after the session, you can stay on. We could have a either one-to-one or any sort of chat. So please don't feel kind of too formal. So let's work on this together. So this is Dhamma learning. It's not an academic, pure academic work. There is, of course, some academic stuff, but we want to be very understanding. Keith.
While you're doing a little bit on organisation, have I missed a message? I don't know how to get to this Facebook page where I can see the recordings.
Oh, okay. I mean, Venerable Dhammarathana has been very kind. He has put this together. Venerable, could you tell us how I mean, I think, if you go to YouTube and put the word Dhamma Vichaya, Dhamma Vichaya. Yeah, is it Dhamma Vichaya? Not Dhamma Vijaya, Dhamma Vichaya. It is like investigation of Dhamma. And then you will see some of these recordings, our recordings. I mean, Bhanthe Dhammarathana, he put this together. I haven't had a chance to even watch them. So if you want to, see
you can
them.
Search, you can search UV Amsterdam and Dhamma Vijay, investigation of Dhamma.
Excellent. Yeah.
Everybody, yeah.
Fantastic. And thank you, Bhanthe, so much for your hard work. I think, yeah. If you have any objections to, putting them in the YouTube, you can raise them, and you can stay anonymous or whatever. But this is a kind of Pali course. I'm sure you won't mind. Yeah, Julia.
Amazing thumbnail.
Say that again. Yeah.
Amazing thumbnail, like the picture of the video. Really nice. Like with you and him and Lotus and the Wheel of Dharma. So amazing.
Oh no, thank you. No, thank you very much. No, I think it is, Bhanthe Dhammarathana. I don't have time for that kind of stuff. So, but I think people, if anybody wants to, I think some of these discussions, maybe people want to watch and, learn something. That's absolutely fine. Yeah. So Dhamma should be kept open to anybody, everybody. Yeah. So, okay, folks, few things like about homework. I know some of you have asked about, homework and course assessment. What I hope to do is, See, those of you who are taking this course for credit, 40% is your attendance and active participation. Yeah, please, be very active, ask questions, throw stones at anybody, even monks, so ask questions and so active participation. I would prefer you if you actually show your face on camera so that, we know each other. So, that's 40%. The next 60% is some assignments. And then there will be a written exam the last day. There will be some written questions and answers. So those of you who even not taking for credit, we will be issuing an attendance and completion certificate from the VU Amsterdam, which is a good thing to have. Probably when you go to your Zen Roshi interview, you can show your certificate and get special credit for it. So so basically the assignments and everything is to make you think, not to academically intimidate you or anything like that. I know you guys are very interested in Dhamma, and I think I'm very happy with the enthusiasm and the level of interest that you've shown. So that's why I just want to dig a little bit deeper. The Pali Canon, and also before I forget, from now on, all the notes will be in the Google Drive, so that you can, I have shared. If you don't have, I don't know how it works. If you don't have a Google account, still you should be able to, isn't it, Lucien? I think you know it.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. You can make it public for everybody only based on the URL, but I don't know if that's what you want.
Yeah, basically, I mean, I don't mind. What I want is I keep developing these, these notes in one place rather than sending it every week. It is on Google Drive. So you could go to Google Drive, even with, I think without having an email, Google Mail, you can go to Google Drive and read those notes.
Maybe the question should be if there's anybody who can't access it right now.
Anyone who couldn't access, I think I actually email shared with almost everybody. Did you have a difficulty at all, Ine?
I don't know how to. I've never have connected with Google Drive, so I don't know how to get there. But is it?
No, if you go to your, if you have a Gmail, for example, there are some dots like, lines by one, like about series of dots on your right-hand side. If you go to those dots, click those, you have all this Google stuff there. And then there is something called Google Drive. If you click that, if I share something, my drive with you, so you have the access to that.
How can I find your specific drive? Is it easy to, if I type in your name?
Yeah. No, I'm sharing. I have already emailed you. I have shared my document with you. So simply, you just log on to that, and you can even amend it or add anything. What I would like is, sorry.
But first you have to accept, like we have to send you invitation for us, like to accept this. It's really easy. It's just first step.
Exactly.
So you've sent it in an email.
Correct. Yeah,
Link.
I share my document with you, and then you go and check. And also, those of you who want to do sort of any assignment or any recording, we can also use that. You know, say if you want to do some sample chanting or something, and then you know you could do it in Google Drive, and you know that will be useful for our future assignments as well. Yeah, is everybody okay?
I don't think I can see those files, but maybe is it possible to download things from
Yeah.
Google Drive, or isn't it? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean, when you have the document, when you have you can download it, you know, either PDF or document or whichever form. What is good about the Google Drive is, you know, we can collectively work on something together. So rather than me having, because see, my email is, you know, not terribly reliable. That's why I chose that. I emailed this out to you, and some of you have not got that. I don't know what. Yeah. So it is having it in Google Drive. It makes it a bit easier. Only difficulty I'm having is the diacritic. You know, Pali diacritic writing is a bit difficult in that. So I think I have to do something about it.
For myself, I made some shortcuts for that. I can show you how to do that if you want.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, please help me on that. Yeah. So the shortcut, shortcut keys. Yeah, I see. I mean, that is helpful. Thank you.
We can
Lucian.
also, if anything, we can also like add them ourselves if we see a word that.
Yeah.
Because we can work on the document. So then, even if anything, that's a good check if we know how to spell the word.
Yeah. And if we
I actually did that already. And you probably also, Mikael.
Yes, please do, because if you add anything or do any amendments or anything, choose a color, you know, and so that I would know who is doing what. Yeah. So that way we can develop it together. So when I get my book out one day, I don't know, maybe in 1,000 years, Buddha in the Pali canon, and perhaps, you know, I could acknowledge all of your contributions. Okay. So okay, folks, anything else in terms of housekeeping? No. Okay, good. Very good. So this, today's, our discussion revolves around actually one very important topic. Guess what that topic is? I'd like to hear that I'd like to hear that in Pali. In Pali. What's that in Pali? Artha Mitra.
Arya Atta Maga.
Yeah, Aryo Attangiko Maggo. Aryo Attangiko Maggo. And we have to really learn these Pali expressions confidently. Aryo Attangiko Maggo. At the end of the course, and that is one requirement. Key teachings like Chatu Arya Satcha, Four Noble Truths. Aryo Artangiko Maggo, or Paticca Samuppada, and Vipassana, sort of, having the basic concepts in Pali, and that may be something that we really want to be confident in using. And but Aryo Atangiko Maggo, how could you describe it in one? Actually, I say two words.
It's the middle way.
Yeah, middle way. But the Pali word?
Majjhima. Majjhima.
Oh, good. Majjhima. Majjhima Patipada. Very good. Who said that, Julie? Yeah. Majjhima Patipada. And that's a very, you hear the word Majjhima Patipada all the time. Majjhima Patipada. It's like middle path. Yeah. And when you hear the word Majjhima Patipada, what comes to your mind is, you should get two important teachings into your head. What are those two important teachings? We already know one.
Is the other one the threefold path?
Threefold path.
Ethic, meditation, and wisdom? Morality, meditation?
No. You see, the Buddhist teaching, entire Buddhist teaching has actually two most important pillars. One is the Eightfold Noble Path. That is the practice. It is like the practice side. And then there is a theory side, kind of philosophical framework.
Philosophical.
Correct. Yeah. Paticca Samuppada. And, when every time you hear the word Majjhima Patipada, these two pillars should come to your mind. And one is the philosophical framework. The other one is the practical, practice. Yeah. And so for those, there are two important sutras that we have already detected. Now, what are those two sutras in the Pali canon?
The Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta?
Yeah, one is Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, that is Eightfold Noble Path. Yes. And the other one?
And the other one is 117 in the Majjhima Nikaya, but I forgot his name.
117. No. Oh. That's not what I'm thinking of. Actually, okay. The most famous one. Any other guesses? Anybody who would like to guess?
Anantalakkana Sutta.
Sorry?
Anantalakkana Sutta.
Anantalakkana Sutta. No.
I think Mahakachana.
Kachana Gotta.
Kachana
Gotta Sutta. Now
sorry,
that is
Kachana Gotta. Yeah,
exactly. Kachana Gotta Sutta in the Sangyutta Nikaya. That's a very important sutta. You cannot forget about that. Kachana Gotta, because in the Mahayana tradition was all based on middle way philosophy. Madhyamika, that is called Madhyamika. So Nagarjuna, all the great teachers, they were actually on middle, but actually all the work they have done is as a commentary to this one sutra. Yeah. So there is actually a nice text By, I mean, Nagarjuna's is called Mula Madhyamika Karika. I think Venerable Vijayasiri is a Sanskrit scholar. So Mula Madhyamika Karika. So, which is a full, commentary of the Kacchanagotta Sutta, pretty much. And so it is about Paticcasamuppada, yeah? What are we talking about here? We are talking about Majjhima Patipada, middle path. And the middle path has one philosophical, one practical. The philosophical is Kacchanagotta Sutta, and the practical is the, Dhammacakkappavattana. And there are many other suttas. And 117, Mahachattarisaka, there are many sutras on Eightfold Noble Path, Mahasalayatanika, and so on. So we will read some of those sutras. Actually, but this is actually very important two pillars in our, sorry.
Could you actually give us the numbers of the suttas so that we
Yeah, definitely. Let me get to that, my little notes here. Okay. Let me get to, which one is the latest? Okay. Yeah, so these notes actually show all the now all the details are in here. Yeah. So okay, so the middle part, Majjhima, I have written a little paragraph, but I think that needs to be kind of clean up a bit, but basically what it says, a middle path or middle way is a term often used to refer to Buddhism, or specifically to refer to the Eightfold Noble Path. What comes to one's mind when one hears the word middle way, is some sort of a middle point in between two things. Yeah, I mean, now I just give a little, little explanation of this. And this is a bit of a misunderstanding or myth. Usually, what happens is when we hear the word middle, we are actually positing two sides to something. Now we say, what is the middle of the road? And then you have a location. It is not the right, not the left, middle. Yeah. I mean, that kind of interpretation is totally out in Buddhism. It's not that kind of middle that the Buddha is talking about. So you would, people, academics use this as kind of a dialectical position. It's kind of a philosophical middle, not that kind of, location type of thing. Yeah. And then, with regard to, Noble Eightfold Path, you can ask, this series of questions. Now, what are the questions? The question number one is, obviously, why is Eightfold Noble Path called middle path? And the Buddha gives a really, really good explanation. And listen to this, and this is very important. And we found this actually in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. Can we ask Venerable Venerable Dhammarathana to read this out for us?
Katamacha sabhikkhave majjhima patipada tathagatena abhisang buddha Chakkokarani jnanakarani upasamaya abhinyaya Sangbodhaya Nibbanaya Sangvatati.
Thank you, Bhante. That's lovely. That's really beautiful. Now the translation of that is Katama, Chesa, Bhikkhave, Katama. What is that? And what is the middle monks? Katama Chesa, Bhikkhave, Majjhima Patipada. What is that middle, O monks? Tathagatena Abhisambuddha. Tathagata, by the Tathagata, Abhisambuddha means realized. Now, what is that middle that was realized by the Tathagata? Yeah. And now then there are actually, very important few words here. Chakkukarani, and that's a very special word. I mean, chakku literally means what? What is chakku?
Eye.
Eye, exactly, yeah. Chakku karani, that is eye making or eye giving, or actually it is like Dhamma eye, producing the Dhamma eye. Chakku karani. Now that is actually an adjective to refer to the middle path. Chakku karani majjhima patipada. Now, majjhima patipada is being discussed here. Chakku karani. The quality of majjhima patipada is eye making or giving an eye, vision, producing vision. Yeah. And the jnana karani and producing knowledge. Upasamaya, leading to calm. Abhinyaya, leading to direct knowledge. Sambodhaya, self-awakening. Nibbanaya, leading to Nibbana. Yeah, Sangvatati. Sangvatati is, it is sort of thing. Yeah. So now these actually words, I mean, these are repeated in the sutta very, clearly many times. And the reason why the Buddha repeats this is it's for a very special purpose. I mean, this is the philosophical underpinning. So philosophically, it is not just a middle something that he's talking about, a middle of something, but that something should be chakkukarani, producing the vision, and that vision is called Dhamma Chakku, Dhamma eye, Jnana Karani, and it is actually producing that knowledge, Upasama, leading to calm, Abhijna, you saw the word Abhijna, Abhijanati, like kind of a leading to or direct knowledge, like it is actually not just intellectual knowledge, it's actually one's experience, one's realization. Yeah. Sambodhaya, self-awakening, and it actually awakens it. So now this Majjhima Patipada is not an ordinary sort of middle that he's talking about. So therefore, you know, one has to do justice to all these terms here. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but all right, all those terms that okay, of course they're very important, but it doesn't still explain why it's called the middle way.
Yeah. Because, you know, you really have to gather a lot of evidence from different sutras, and this is what we are actually doing here. You know, you can't. I mean, you know, you can't just. I mean, of course, this is a summary that you know, you know, in the very first Dhammacakka, you know, Pavattana Sutta, the Buddha is giving a description, and then he gets into other sutras to discuss and describe why it is Chakukarani, why it is Jnanakarani, why it is Upasamaya, why are we, so all these sutras, and that is why we have to look elsewhere to gather this evidence. Yeah, and that's what we are going to do. But you know, hold on to that question. But we'll find answers as we look at different sutras. Okay.
This is from Majjhima Nikaya 117.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. This is Dhammacakkappavattana Sangyutta Nikaya.
Okay.
Yeah.
What number?
Sangyutta Nikaya. Have I not put the number? I think it is 25. Let me go, you know, get, if I haven't put the reference, I will put those because some sutras are actually, you know, found not, you know, more than one place. Yeah. So that is the first sutta, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. 117 is a Mahachattarisaka Sutta, which, you know, to which we will come very soon. Okay, now, and then the second question I posed is, what's the position in the, you know, the Buddhist, I mean, the Eightfold Noble Path position? I mean, see, Eightfold, you know, Noble Path can be viewed, you know, from two angles, and that is where the 117 comes. One is Lokiya and one is Lokuttara. So the right view is of mundane type, and one is supramundane type. Now, actually, I think it was Julia who asked a really important question. Now let's spend a couple of minutes to talk about it. Okay, let me, yeah. So the Michaditi, the wrong view. I mean, the Sutta 117. If you look at it, it talks about. I mean, there are a lot of interesting stuff there, but one most important expression there is what is wrong view. The wrong view is, you know, because, you know, these 10 types of assumptions that people make, you know, nati dinnang, there is no benefit in giving. Nati itang, there is no, you know, point in doing ritual formations. Nati dinnang, nati itang, nati hutang, you know, there's no point in, you know, giving donations or taking it to some places. And so, you know, putting the karma into question. Yeah. So there are 10 different ways that that people actually make this doubt. people doubt, is there a world? And then the people, is there a world that we are living in? And then there is no world. You come to that conclusion. Nati ayang loko, there is no this world. Nati paro loko, there is no after, afterlife. Nati mata, there is no mother, there is no father, there is no result in good karma, good activities. So now all these 10 aspects, I mean, those are just a summary of the 10, but actually there are more than that. And everything is like, this is not. And Julia's question is, in Zen there is something called mu. I think mu is not this, not that, not. I think Keith talks about it a lot. Mu. Yeah. So what is the difference between this kind of wrong view and that? Is that like, what Zen says is no. Does that amount to falling into the wrong view? What do you think? Are you with me? No?
Maybe.
Maybe. Let me write it. Let me write it down.
Maybe the sort of the perfect view is in a way no view at all.
Sorry? No. In Zen there is something called mu.
Yeah.
Mu means not. Yeah, not.
Yeah, it's a negation.
Yeah,
it's a negation. Yeah, it's a negation. Yeah.
It's not even no. It's just a negation, like happy, unhappy. It's like the on bit.
Yeah, it is. It's a negation. Now, when you say negation, now some people misunderstand that with the wrong view. My question to you is, what is the difference between this mu thing and the wrong view? Wrong view also says no, not know this world.
I think it is connected to the ontology part. So the wrong view here is like a nihilism, which denies the existence of the world. And I think it's super important that it's mentioned. I mean, the Buddha mentions it because a lot of people later on interpreted Buddhism as a nihilism, because they misunderstood the negation of and difficult to express, because the mu is the an, so it's not like, so it's kind of like pointing out a mistake rather than denying existence.
Yeah, no, that's really good. That's a good explanation, Mikhal. Yeah, that's exactly right. See, the Kachanagota Sutta is about, say, there exist is one end, and there doesn't exist is another. So existence and non-existence. Now these are two extremes. Yeah. And the problem is when you say there is no mother, there is no father, there is no result in good activity, you are naturally falling into the nihilism. Yeah, nihilism. And so that is just as bad, or even actually worse than, accepting something. And so the Buddha says, don't fall into this. This is dangerous, because when you fall into that, there is no path at all. And this is the problem with now some of the materialists, for example. The materialists say, oh, there is no life after death. Yeah. So you just simply, you know, and you fall into nihilism. Yeah. Annihilation. So now that is far more dangerous than actually relative, you know, accepting the relative world. You know, you're not accepting it as an absolute, but you are accepting it for a purpose. Yeah, it is just like I conceptualize it as like, you know, when you want to do a concrete pillar, you actually have to have a frame. You know, you just use the frame, but once you have built the pillar, you remove that frame. Yeah. What is it called? Is it the lintel? It is the lintel? No. You know, scaffold. I don't know. So sort of.
Yes, in concrete, it's called shuttering. It's the wooden boards. I don't know what it is in Dutch, but you make a wooden frame.
Yeah, that it is like, you know, if you don't have that wooden frame, you can't build a pillar. Yeah, but once you build the pillar, you don't need that wooden frame either. So you are not taking that wooden frame to be real. So therefore, you have to start with where you are. This is the really smartness of the Buddha, you know, Buddhist path. The Buddha says, don't fall into this nihilism because it is dangerous. So therefore, it is not the same mu. The mu is about not. It's not no. I mean, linguistically, I refer to it as like, you know, when you say no, it's different from not. Not is like you actually, you know, you're getting into the core of something. Yeah, and this is where this Kachana Gota Sutta is so important. It's a very small sutta in the Samyutta Nikaya, and where the Buddha says, Kachana, the world is always hung up on this duality. Either they fall into existence or non-existence, and so the middle path is to transcend both. Yeah. Yeah. So are you all with me so far?
I think I am, but maybe some questions of mine could clear it up a bit. Yeah. I think we're talking now about the middle path, but we're talking about the middle between several things. So on one side, there's the middle path, like in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, like in between the austere and yeah, how would you call the other way?
Yeah,
indulging in pleasure.
Yeah, the pleasure, right? In those, yeah, right. Yeah. So those two, but we were at the same time just now talking about material existence and not material existence. That's another thing we were talking about, I think, right? So it's also in between those two. And we were also talking about taking the Dhamma as an absolute and not believing it at all, also in between those two. So I think we're talking about a few middle paths at the same time, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But one thing we really have to navigate out, Lucian, is not to conceptualize that as a combination of something. Now, say if you're saying that not indulging in sense pleasures, not self-mortification, does that mean a combination of the two? No. Now that is exactly. Now that is actually.
Yeah, but.
Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
You also wrote, and you just said that it was a dialectical kind of negation. And if I understand the dialectic approach, that means that you do actually combine the two, but transcend them, having combined them and then transcend them. That's what dialectic means, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's again language, but
Yeah.
dialectic means, transcending it. But this is where we really have to read the sutras very carefully, because then the Buddha actually shows beautifully in this 117 Sutra how the right view and the wrong view, for example, the Sammaditthi or Michaditthi, it is again, people may fall into two extremes. Like, there's a wrong view, there's a right view. Actually, in Buddhism, the right view is not another view. It's understanding the wrongness of the wrong view. Then there is no duality formed there.
It's directly connection with reality, how things are, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, this is world transcending, because the relativity is the dangerous thing. In the world, you always find two things, good, bad, right, wrong. Yeah, this, that. But when you transcend the world, the Lokuttara level, you actually transcend both.
I have a question.
Sorry.
I'm confused. One thing. So this like non-existent and existence is of Nagarjuna, right? But did Buddha say it like directly too, or because you said that Buddha said that, so I was wondering, did he directly said it in some sutta? We can read it, or it's mainly Nagarjuna's.
I didn't get you, Julia. Say that again.
So Nagarjuna was like saying about like this existent and non-existent and this middle way between the two.
Yeah. I mean, Nagarjuna, what he does is he actually gives a commentary to the Buddha's teaching. Like, say, this Kachanagota Sutta, he takes that sutta and gives the full, like 500 slokas. He gives a really amazing commentary to it. So, but he never deviates from the, Buddhist, philosophy. Yeah. So, yeah, but, Kachanagota Sutta, I mean, word to word, the Buddha says, Dvenisitoyan loko kachana. Kachana, the world is always hung up on this duality. Athitancha, nathitancha. Existence, non-existence. Yeah. And then say loka samudayan ko kachana samapanya pasuto blah blah blah. And then the Buddha has very, in summary, has articulated it. What Nagarjuna has done is he has expanded it with examples and all the beautiful analogies and so on. Yeah.
Sometimes it's just hard to like grasp everything from the sutta. It's kind of short and you cannot read it like literally. And
yeah, no, I mean, I take your point. I mean, if this were to be very easy to understand, everybody would be enlightened, in one go, So I mean, it's not. And this is why, if you understand kusala, akusala, if you understand, the problem is a lot of people understand good and bad, right and wrong. But, and also they apply, the same duality to kusala, akusala. Kusala, akusala is a very different paradigm from good and bad, right and wrong.
But wholesome and unwholesome, for me, it's different than good and right. It's like more wider spectrum.
Yeah.
And they catch each other like on the...
Yeah. I mean,
Can I ask something about this?
Oh, please. Yeah, please. Yeah, Julie.
Yeah, because I've been very curious about this point. So I would really like if you could say a bit more about it, and especially maybe if you could give some insights in how it relates to kind of Western Christian-based ethics that we are used to, and how the two relate also in spiritual care.
No, I think that's a good question, Julie. This is where the Christian ethical framework, really, in my view, doesn't go beyond the worldly context, relative world. It is, good and bad, right and wrong. Now take for example, just war theory, St. Augustine's, and all of these people, just war theory. The Buddha never subscribed to a just war theory. Why doesn't he? He's already subscribed to just peace theory, because when you actually subscribe to a just war theory, what you're doing is you are actually trying to find a way to justify war. Now, this is where the real problem is. The moment you have just war theory, then you have justified the war. Yeah. So that's where the Christian ethics really fails. Whereas the Buddha says, it is never skillful to kill. It is never skillful to steal. It's never skillful to misbehave. It's never skillful to lie. It's never skillful. Yeah. And what does that say? That says actually kusala is not another paradigm like merit and demerit. In the merit and demerit, you have two frames, right? This is meritorious, but this is a list of demerits. But the kusala akusala has no two lists. There is only one list. Refraining from akusala itself is the kusala. Yeah. And that is called kusalasa upasampada. Yeah. So it gets bit metaphysical or philosophical actually, but the Buddhist ethics rely on this very important point of transcending the duality. If you don't transcend the duality, then you are stuck in the relative world of ethics. I don't want to get into the philosophy of ethics, but you could actually read Peter Harvey on Introduction to Buddhist Ethics. He tries to get into this, but I think what is more important is to understand the Sammaditthi Sutta. Sammaditthi Sutta. I think one of you have done some work on Sammaditthi, which is good. Where the Sammaditthi is not another sort of ditthi, but it's understanding the erroneous nature of the Miccha Ditthi. And once you have actually realized that, and that you understand that even realization itself is a formation, and then you are ready to let go of that. The Buddha says, Dhammapi bhikkhave pahatabba. Even the Dhamma, you should be ready to let go of the Dhamma. What to talk of Adhamma? Yeah. So it is just like, I think there's a one monk called Bhikkhu Jnanananda who wrote a book called Concept and Reality. He gives a really interesting analogy. He says, when you want to cross the river, good olden days, what you do is you hang on to a creeper, yeah? And you actually, you develop some momentum from this shore, and then you actually swing to the other shore. But once you actually swing to the other shore, you're not holding on to that creeper. You know, you don't need that. It's just, this is what is called, is it Alagadupama Sutta? No.
Alagadupama Sutta.
Is it Alagadupama Sutta? Yeah.
But,
You know, once you... Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. So when you use a raft to cross the river, don't carry the raft on your shoulder once you do that. So don't even, you know, get hung up on the, you know, this concept. And that is what actually, if I understand correctly, that's what Mu in Zen. I kind of quite like that.
I think that's right. It's not holding on to anything. And as soon as you think you've got it or you conceptualize it, you've not got it. That is it. In simple terms, when I'm talking to people, and this is a simple way, it doesn't necessarily sweep over everything you guys want. The right view, the middle way, is one which leads you to insight, wisdom, and neutralizing dukkha. And if it's not doing that, it isn't the middle way, and it isn't the right view, it isn't the right effort, it isn't any of the rights, if it's not heading you in that direction. And trying to define it is futile. And it's this principle of having to let go of absolutely everything, and just being comfortable with not knowing seems to be the principal thing. There's a little story that we sometimes have of, right, there's a lion behind, you're a tiger, and you're hanging on a cliff, and you don't know which way to go. It's not like that. It's almost like taking a running jump off the cliff, and you wait to fall, but you don't. You fly. And I think Ajahn Brahma's recently published a book, which is a misleading title, but I like the title. And it says something like falling is flying, or something like that. And that's exactly the way I perceive this. As soon as you get hold of it, you've not got it. And so you have to be comfortable with knowing. And that not knowing gives me sort of that confidence, because you do seem to fly. Sorry, end of lecture.
No, thank you, Keith. I think that's lovely. Actually, this is what makes this discussion very interesting. Mikhail.
Yeah, Keith reminded me of the two truths doctrine. That's a bit, I think, in also Nagarjuna, where he talks about the conventional view and the absolute view, and then the absolute, not view, the truth. The absolute truth is like cannot be expressed. So if we think that by concepts we can get to it and just have it as a little nice idea that we have of enlightenment, then we don't have it. And so I thought that's really nice.
Can I just, before you get to Julia next, before that, the truth, the Buddha never in the Pali canon, nowhere he uses the word seeking the truth. But he says seeking the kusala. It is called King Kusala Gavesi, but he never says King Satcha Gavesi. Satcha is truth. The reason, if I understand correctly, is the truth is again a relative term in, limited to the world. there is actually a better truth, there are people who are saying, better lies, better lies and better truths. So it's a relative term. So interestingly, nowhere in the Tripitaka you find King Satya Gavesi, but you find King Kusala Gavesi. And that's an important aspect to remember. Julia.
I wanted to say about like this Christianity and Buddhism because I'm working on it, and there's this assumption of original sin. So you really start like negatively, and then in Buddhism there is like a Buddha nature that you have to find. But this is like, I don't know, more positive for me, and I just don't like the idea that you are born and you already did something wrong. So
yeah,
it shows like how like this dualistic perception of the world here.
Yeah, and that is actually even going back to Julie's actually question, which is a really important one. And this, like in Christianity, you have these commandments. I mean, I'm not trying to actually, talk about another religion, but you have the commandments, like they are kind of very imperatives. Yeah. So whereas in Buddhism, they are called shiksha, training precepts. The difference between the precept and the commandment is an order coming ontologically coming from somebody. Yeah. Whereas a shiksha is, the Buddha never says, I can't tell you what to do and what not to. Now it is like saying, what is the purpose of stop sign? The purpose of stop sign is to stop. But if you have a cardiac arrest, you're not supposed to stop. The ambulance never stopped, does it? Yeah. So I mean, now see how this skillful means, and how this kusala thing overrides and transcend the world, and therefore ethics is not about actually do's and don'ts. It's actually understanding what both are about, sort of thing. I mean, it gets interesting, but I was doing a lecture on to a Christian chaplains about kusala and akusala, and they said, look, I mean, this is a very alien concept to Christianity, but I think that is exactly what makes Buddhism. I mean, this is Buddhist logic. How do you transcend the world? How do you actually navigate out of this dualistic, even truth, and that's the danger. Anyway, have we answered your question, Julie?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you could probably talk for hours on it, but
yeah,
maybe some other time.
Yeah, but actually very interesting sources. I mean, going back to Pali canon, and this is where the Sammaditthi Sutta, Kachana Gotta Sutta, and actually a lot of Abhijja Sutta, and Pache Pachupan, that's again a discourse on Paticcasamuppada. So I will put those sutras, sutra references in the notes. So we have to look carefully those sutras. Anyway, so we are closely coming up to about break. So we can should we take a break now, or are you okay to? Yeah, okay. Let's take a short break. and meet you in the hour. Yeah, it's going to be 7 o'clock here, and in your times. Okay, let's take a short break. So the venerable monks could do a short break as well. You are going into the midnight, aren't you? Yeah. So, okay, let's take a short break then. So Ardhamitra,
Sunil,
are you studying other courses as well, or just this one?
at the moment, just this one. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm studying things in between course for myself as well, and also I'm leading some study groups where I prepare for, and so yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Study is in a way, well, it's part of our path anyway, and yeah.
Yeah.
And talking with each other about it and discussing and try to understand it more, yeah, on another level.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. Yeah. No, I think we all have to. We never stop studying, do we? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And it's a joy, really. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not sort of a punishment to me, anyway. Not.
No.
I found this sutra very interesting. The Majjhima from the Majjhima Nikaya 117. I never came across it, and it's sort of the dynamics between the different limbs of the Eightfold Path. I found it very very interesting.
I mean, it's a very, I mean, some of these sutras, I think, I may have read about 100 times each, because it's just, every time I read, I see something that I never noticed before. And so the depth, is incredible. Yeah. I mean, this is all the, I mean, this Majjhima Nikaya has 152 sutras. And I mean, the last one called Uparipannasaka is, I don't know how they really put this very heavy sutras in the last one. A lot of it it's fascinating. Yeah.
What is its main topic then?
Sorry?
What's the main topic of that sutta, 152?
Oh, no. I mean, the Majjhima Nikaya has 3 volumes.
Yeah.
It's called, Mula. It's called Mula, the first, the Majjhima, and then the Uparipannasaka. So the 50, and then 52, the last one, which I think the last volume has the deepest, like the, I think Mahachattarika Sutta 117 and the Salayathanika, like I think somebody can spend a whole life just reading a couple of sutras in the last one.
Okay.
It, really, very deep. Welcome everybody. Are you all back?
In case they're not, I've just got a couple of books here for those who are trying to bridge Christianity and Buddhism. You may already know of them. I'm not an academic and I've not done a formal study, but there's one by D.T. Suzuki who does a commentary on Meister Eckhart. So Suzuki was a Zen master, and he explores some of the stuff that Meister Eckhart did. He was living about 1300. I think he did such a good job. I think he got out to Rome and nobody ever saw him again. Of a similar era.
I mean, Suzuki is very famous, isn't he? Yeah.
There's a book called The Cloud of Unknowing. This is a English text from about 1300-ish, author unknown. But our Zen group did a 5-day retreat on this, and I said to our Roshi, I said, can you tell me of a similar Zen book that goes into this stuff? And he couldn't. So it's really penetrating, and its focuses on direct experience, basically.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll shut up.
Yeah. No, that's wonderful. Thank you. And speaking of books, and I think this is the one I was referring to, Nagarjuna's, I think the David Kalupahana. He's been I think he was a professor at East West Center in America. So the Buddhist philosophy, I mean, he's written about, I don't know, 50 different books. But I think this is the guy who did his PhD on Paticcasamuppada in London University. And this Mula Madhyamaka Karika, I mean, he translates the entire Sanskrit version beautifully, actually, giving a lot of, theoretical background to some
what
of the.
What is the name of the book? An author?
It's called Mula Madhyamika Karika of Nagarjuna, the philosophy of the middle way. The philosophy of the middle way. Yeah.
And by who is that?
By David. I'll put that in the chat box. Yeah, David Kalupahana. Yeah. Mula Madhyamika.
I think I know how the title is spelled because I have some translations of it. So just the surname of the author.
Yeah. So, okay, folks, let's get back to our Pali reading. Now, are you all okay with?
Sorry, Sunil, I can't see the chat.
Yeah, me too.
Who did you send?
Oh, you can't see the chat.
No.
Did you send it to everyone?
Yeah.
I also didn't get it. So.
Okay. Did I? Oh, sorry. I've not sent it to everyone. Everyone in the meeting. David Kalupahana. Yeah. Did you get it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now that's actually, a fascinating book where he gives lot of background. So I just wanted to now when I finish with this middle way philosophy and some of the other questions I asked, are you all okay with those questions? I mean, do you want me to like some of those who read 117, if I were to ask you, how did you this is called grade 40. Grade 40. How does the Eightfold Noble Path become a 40? If I ask that question, would anybody have any answer? Okay, so probably I mean, if you read the 117 carefully, you should get that.
There are like, I don't know, but 5 verses in each. So, and there are 8. So then you have 40, but no, because he like the to be.
Well, I can tell you how 40, you know, what makes 40, but that's not, you know. So I mean, you know, basically, if you look this way, you know, Eightfold Noble Path, you know, and Eightfold Noble Path has actually two aspects to it. One is, you know, the Seker, you know, Seker, and the other one is called Aseka. Remember? What's the difference between Seker and Aseka?
Like, does the stream entry?
Yeah, Seka is the one who, it comes from the word, actually in Sanskrit word siksha, sikha. Seka is a trainee, you know, trainee, yeah, that's Seka. Aseka is the one who has actually, you know, completed the training, Arahant. So, you know, you would say actually Arahant. So in the 117, in MN Majjhima Nikaya 117, the Buddha says, you know, Seiko, Atanga Samannagato Seiko. Seika has only 8, whereas Aseka makes it 10. Aseka, how does the Aseka make it 10? You know, this Eightfold Noble Path, 8 plus another extra 2. What are the 2?
So understanding and liberation.
Correct. Yeah. So Samma, it's called Samma Jnana. And Samma Vimutti. Yeah. So he actually, Aseka completes the jnana. I mean, this doesn't mean to say that the Seka doesn't have the jnana, but the Seka's jnana is only 25%. So he's still lacking 75%. Yeah. So therefore, his jnana is just 25%. And his liberation is also 25%. So he has to complete 75%. And the Seker who completes 100% is called, actually it's called, you know, Dasa Angehi Samannagato. Dasa is again 10. Yeah, Dasa. Dasa Angehi Samannagato Seiko. The one who makes the eightfold noble path into 10. Yeah. Eightfold noble path becomes 10 for the Aseka, because he completes the jnana, he completes the vimutti. So his level of completion, yeah, he completes not just in the mundane realm, you know, so, you know, mundane realms, but he also completes in the Aryan realm. So then there are actually two other categories to them, Aryan, mundane versus Aryan. And these two has actually, now remember, Lokya, Lokuttara. So 10 here, 10 here, and then the Aryan also Lokya, Lokuttara. That means 10 here, 10 here. So altogether, how many you have?
40.
40.
Yeah. So now, to get to that point, you really have to understand the sutra really well. So for example, samadhi, for example, is of two types, it says, right? So samadhi, right view, is two types, one mundane and Aryan. Yeah. So the mundane samadhi is that, what we discuss. Okay. So, so the, all of these, now then the 8 becomes 10, 10 becomes both the mundane versus Aryan, and then the Seka and Aseka. Yeah, so altogether it becomes 40. And I would really like you to read that sutta again, because it's a fascinating sutta. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What's the difference between the Aryan and the Aseka?
Oh, okay. Yeah, Aseka means that one who has completed the training. He has nothing more to do. Katakicha, that he is also called Katakicha, one who has, finished the job. But Aryan is both Seka and Aseka, has the Aryan. They are both in the same category. Yeah. Do you? Okay. Did you get it? No.
So the Aseka is a Arahant.
Aseka is the Arahant.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Then why does the Arahant need the Eightfold Path?
Good question. Yeah. Why does the Arahant? No. It is not that he needs it. He has completed it. Yeah.
Okay.
His training is complete. So dasa angehi samannagatu. He says, now he has crossed it. It is like this. Now you become a professor after doing your master's and PhD. But still you use the master's and PhD, after your name or whatever. Yeah. So, but, of course, he has done the work, completed the work. Yeah. Okay.
I'm still, I don't know, I don't really understand these 40 factors, because so there are 10 factors on the path, and we have Lokia and Lokuttara, so that's like 20. But then Sekas don't have 20 because they don't have 10 factors, because they didn't get there yet. So I don't know, I don't know what the 40 is. I got lost.
Yeah. I mean, the sutta is it actually talks about the culmination when somebody completes it. How it actually it is not it's wholesome, unwholesome, kusala, akusala, and Aseka, because the Aseka still has, this is why I said, though he is not completed with the jnana, samma jnana, samma vimutti, there is an element of it is still there. Yeah. Do you follow me? No?
Yeah. No, yeah. No, yeah. Now I think so. It's kusala and akusala, and then it corresponds to lokiya and lokuta.
Yeah, that's right. But I actually asked you to read it again because it's a tricky one. I mean, this sutta is a very tricky one because the Buddha says, I'm going to actually teach you the Aryan Samadhi. And then he says, this is the nature of the Aryan Samadhi. And, he gets into nitty-gritty details. But I think the way it has been presented is, absolutely brilliant. And yeah. So I would invite you to go back to the sutta and read it again because it took me quite a while to kind of digest it. And I don't mean to say that I have digested it fully though. Okay. All right, folks. Any more questions? Yeah, Artamitra.
This is actually the first time that I heard of those 10 sort of limbs of the path.
Yeah.
So in general, we talk about the Eightfold Path. And then I assume that sort of the other 9 and 10 are sort of inherent in Samadhi. Is that?
It is actually, yeah, it is. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It is, the jnana, like, every level, you develop jnana. Satya jnana, Kitcha jnana, Krita jnana. So the jnana is built into, and the insight is built into it.
Okay.
So the vimukti, I mean, to the extent you have attained jnana, it also has liberated you. You're no longer a putujana. You've gone beyond. Yeah, that's what, this is actually very explicitly said in the sutta. It says, Atanga samannagato seko, the seka with the 8, limbs, and the dasa angehi samannagato araha, the arahan who is with the 10. Yeah. So that is very explicitly stated in the sutta.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah, please.
About this general division between the worldly Eightfold Path and the unworldly or the transcendental Eightfold Path.
Supramundane, yeah.
Yeah. Could you sort of, is it logical to make a model that you put the one on top of the other, so that you sort of, as a trainee, you start with the worldly, and then that sort of how it culminates in the worldly samadhi, and from there you then, well, the samadhi is sort of, you come to the yata buddha jnana dasana, then that at some point that you then go into the transcendental path, to the transcendental.
I mean, this is this is like, I mean, you're proposing a directionality. Let's go from the world to, like mundane to supramundane. Yeah. I mean, that could be a little counterintuitive, because that really suggests that one who is actually involved in worldly practice will ultimately get there. But that is not the case. I mean, this is the Aryan prerogative. It is exclusively Aryan, because now see, the asceticism was there even before the Buddha. So there is no guarantee, therefore, that just because somebody stays in the worldly realm, is going to get there. So you have to do a paradigm shift. So
okay, but in a way, I mean, we're preparing to be able to make that shift, isn't it?
Yeah.
Otherwise we wouldn't have to do anything.
No. I mean, take this. If
we use the training, we use the training principle, the training, as you said, we use that to become, as I see it, to become sort of how should to become so that it become possible for us to make this leap towards the
I mean, the way the Buddha puts it is different, though, because he says, I mean, it is like, if you have a really good pair of trainers, that can really be helpful, useful, conducive for running the marathon. But there is no guarantee that you will run the marathon just having a two pair of,
but there's no guarantee. But if you don't use those shoes, you will never run it. You see what I mean? So there's also, I think it's also sort of an installation of paticca samuppada. So that things come out of setting up conditions to come. Even the transcendental is part of paticca samuppada.
No, I agree with you, but the paticca samuppada should not be looked at in that kind of a worldly sense, because these two PhD studies at London University done by two people, they talk about these seven ways of looking at paticca samuppada, and this is where the Nagarjuna, Nagarjuna says, Anirodha anutpad, anucheda asasvatam, anekartha ananartha, anagama anirgama. He says there are 8 aspects to the paticca. Anirodha anutpad. There is no nirodha, there is no anutpad. So they are kind of diametrically opposed. Anucheda asaswadam. It is not anucheda, not saswada, or anucheda asaswadam. Anekartha ananartha. It's not one type of meaning and multiple meaning. Yeah. Anagama anirgamam. Not going, not coming. This is why Tishnatan, he has this sort of word, no coming, no going, no this, no that, that sort of stuff. So I mean, if we say this is actually the Buddha's insight, and this is the preciousness of having a Buddha. It's only if you get that message, you really have to get the message. This is where the Kalyana Mitra really matters. You really have to get this message from the Kalyana Mitra, and the Kalyana Mitra has to, has to be the right type. That means, and without that, there is no guarantee that can happen. But what you're saying is, it is a necessary condition Absolutely, yes. It is not sufficient. Yeah. So, I mean, there are some things are necessary, but, you know, there are sufficient condition. Okay. Mikhail, did you want to?
I have one question, but it's not like fully related to this. And I don't know if we have time to talk about it, but I just thought about the distinction that Nagarjuna made of Sammuti and Paramatta. And I was wondering, why did he do it? I mean, because it's not in the original Pali, as I checked, but I wonder why did he use it to, what did he want to explain with it? Because that's a commentary. So I'm curious about it.
It's a good question. Actually, you know, I mean, Sammuti Paramatta, you know, it is for the world. I mean, you know, how people really understand. I mean, the Satcha, you know, he at the same time he says Ekang hi Satcha. Ekang hi Satcham Nadutiya Mati. Yeah. So that means there's only one truth. So, but people can actually view it from different directions. So his job is to enable people to see this from different angles. So, you know, that is, so therefore, that's absolutely fine. But only thing is, people really have to understand, you know, that there is no two types of truth. But, you know, so that is a two different ways of looking at it, you know. And if you understand, this is why the Aryan is the Aryan territory. When you are in that realm, you can penetrate into the world. You know, like the fish. Fish really has no idea that the fish is in the ocean. Yeah. Only fish knows that the fish is in the water only the time that he gets a good friend like a tortoise, you know, who comes and says, oh, my friend, there's two places. One is called land and the other one is called, you know, water. So somebody has to tell him. So this is again like the Aryan realization is about not going from the mundane to supramundane. That direction really doesn't work. That's why the Buddha says, Pubbe ananusute sudammes. He says, I have never known, never seen this before. This realization really came to me. So it's kind of a, you know, some sort of a, you know, Dhamma chakkung udapadi. The Dhamma I arose in me. Jnanang udapadi. This came from nowhere. So, and that is the problem. So we want that, you know, insight coming from somewhere. And that's why we are always looking for a direction. How does it come about? Yeah.
Nagarjuna says, Parama Vivahara Manasritya Paramarthana Deshyate. Paramartha Managami. The Paramartha explained just in the Vivahara conventional truth. Because we cannot talk about that, no? And conventional truth, like that's why he used the conventional truth and absolute truth like that. He developed the, I think in the later Pali commentaries, they have Neyatta and Nitatta, no, in Pali commentary. It's developed into the Sammuti and Paramartha, Samruti. Because Samruti covers the true, Samruti is Sam Pura Brut Dhatu. Cover. The meaning, original meaning is Samruti, meaning covers. Like that's the reality of the world, and we have to understand the Paramartha. conventional. That's the sunyata. That's mean dependent origination.
Yeah. Yeah. No, thank you, Venerable. Thank you so much. I think they will hate us if we go too much philosophical. Yeah. Okay. So let's actually do some practical. Let's do a bit of Pali. Yeah, you are in a Pali course. Don't forget that. Okay. All right. So let's actually now this is a bit of a reading, and now I just I think there are some conversations, like conversational Pali. If you look through the text, there are a lot of conversations like the Milinda Panha, the Nagasenas, and Venerable Nagasena and the Milindas. So there's actually nice conversations. Shall we do a little bit of just one or two lines, just exercise? Anybody want to volunteer to read a few sentences here?
Sure, I'd like to try.
Oh, please, yeah.
Until where?
Yeah. You just read until I ask you to stop.
Okay, sure.
like the higher ordination.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
Tini mani bhikave nidanani kamanang samudayaya. Katamani tini lobho nidanang kamanang samudayaya. Doso nidanang kamanang samudayaya. Moho nidanang kamanang samudayaya.
Yeah, okay, that's great. Yeah, brilliant. You read it really well. All the words correctly. So now let's see if we can try, actually crack some of these words. Like tini is a number. Now T, always when you say eka, du, ti, chatu, those are numbers in Pali. We already know that. Tini imani, tini imani. Tini imani, imani means like this. Tini is what? What is the number? Yeah, 3. Yeah. This 3, three, tini imani, these 3 bhikkhave monks, nidanani. Any guesses what is nidana?
It's a chain, a part of a chain. How you call it? And
course?
or one of the 12 nidanas, friends.
Very good. Yeah. Courses. Yeah, courses. Yeah, courses and conditions. Yeah.
Okay.
Courses. Kammanang. Kamma. We already know kamma, don't we? Kammanang is again. This is plural for the kammas. Samudaya. You know the word samudaya as well. Yeah. What is samudaya?
It's a cause, isn't it? The cause of.
It is arising. I mean, in this context, yeah, it could be also cause, but this is in this context, it means arising. So let's put this together now. These 3 monks are causes, nidanani, kammanang, for the kammas to arise, samudaya. For the kammas to arise, so amongst there are these 3. Yeah. Okay, Tinimani Bhikkhave. Now this is a very common expression. Whenever there is like three things, the Buddha says Tinimani Bhikkhave. That's often found in the text. And then say Katamani Tini. Any guesses? Katamani Tini?
Which three?
Great. Yeah. Which three?
I guess that. I just guessed.
Very good. It's a good guess. I mean, this is why, in the context of, communication, that you can actually make some guesses. So, which three? Lobo nidanang kammanang samudayaya. Yeah? Anybody wants to try that? Only new word here is lobo.
It's hatred?
No, loba is not the hatred.
The greed then.
Looking at the next. Yeah, sorry?
The greed.
Oh, greed.
Yeah, greed, exactly. Loba is greed. So there are actually similar words like loba, raga. Yeah. Now those are similar. Raga is also like attachment, greed. Here, this is loba. Loba is greed. Lobo nidanang kammanang samudaya. Loba is one of the causes for the kammas to arise. Yeah. And then there's another new word here. What is this?
That's hatred, isn't it?
Yeah. Dosa. It's not that now what you eat in Indian restaurants. Yeah. This is also dosa. So doso. Now this is singular. Lobo, doso. And the third one is what?
Delusion?
Moha. Yeah, moha. Exactly. Yeah. So loba, dosa, moha. Now lobo nidanang kammanang samudayaya. Moho doso nidanang kammanang samudayaya. Moho nidanang kammanang samudayaya. Now this is actually a really good way to learn Pali. Now once you crack, one sentence, you get a whole list. It's only difference is the word, loba, dosa, moha. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Who wants to read the next paragraph?
But in Pali, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can try.
Okay. We will pray for you.
Okay. Yang bhikkhave lobhapakatang kamam lobhayang lobhanidanang lobha samudayang tang kamam akusalang tang kamang savajang tang maybe
Yeah.
jam
Yeah.
tang kamang dukkhavipakang tang kamang kamasu samudaya samudaya sangvatati na tang kamang kamanirodaya sangvatati.
Very good. Excellent. Yeah. Okay. Now this is actually again giving a whole description of the what the nidanang, now here it says lobo nidanang kammanang samudaya. Greed is cause for the karmas to arise. And hatred is a cause to karmas to arise. And moha is a cause to karmas to arise. And then young bhikkhave, then now that, young bhikkhave, young means which. It is like tongue, young and tongue. There's young tongue. Which that. Young bhikkhave lobha pakatam. I mean, this is actually lobha pakatam means in the nature of lobha. Kamma lobha jang. Lobha pakata, lobha pakatang kammang, lobha jang, lobha nidanam. Now, lobha ja means born of, jati. Jati. Lobha ja is, jati. Kamma, lobha jang, lobha nidanang, lobha samudayang, tang kammang akusalam. The full sentence meaning is basically, it says that which kamma lobha pakatam, is of the nature of lobha, kamma lobha jam, born of lobha, lobha nidanam, as a cause, as its cause as lobha samudayam, risen from lobha tam. Now this is a sentence like yam and tam. That karma akusalam. What is akusala?
Unskillful.
Unwholesome. Yeah, unwholesome. So whichever karma has attained, has association of lobha, whether it is of its nature or born of it or associated with it, caused by it, they are all akusala. Tang kammang savajjang. Savajja, vajja. What is vajja? Vajja is erroneous, vajja. Savajja is of wrong. Savajja, that karma is wrong. Tang kammang dukkha vipakam. Dukkha, you already know dukkha vipakam. Giving the result of as a dukkha as the result. Tang kammang kamma samudayaya sangvattati. That karma is again gives rise to further karmas. Yeah. Natang kammang kamma nirodhaya sangvattati. That karma does not lead to the nirodha, cessation of the karma. So basically what it says is the whenever you have the akusala does not lead to the nirodha. It is always leading to wrong side. Okay. Shall we read another sentence? Who is the volunteer this time?
I can try.
Okay, yes.
Yang bhikkhave dosa pakatang kamang dosajang dosanidanang dosa samudayang tang kamang akusalang tam kamang savajang tang kamang dukkha vipakang tang kamang kamma samudaya sangvatati na tang kamang kamma nirodhaya sangvatati.
Good, excellent. Now see, there is a lot of repetition, and this is why actually now you can you can easily memorize this, you know, and it really helps even chanting. You know, I almost feel like asking the Venerable Dhammarathana to do a chanting. Please, can you chant one of these, Bhante? Are you here? I think Nevada is still morning, so you can't complain. Are you there, Bhante?
Yeah, I'm in.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, could you actually, you know, in a chanting style, read one of these?
Yam bhikkave dosa pakatam khammanam dosajjam dosa nidanam dosa samudayam tang kammanam akusalam tang kammanam.
Sorry, kammang, not kammanam, Bhante.
Yeah, tang kammam savajjam tang kammam dukkha vipakam tang kammam kamma samudayaya samvattati na tam kammanam kamma nirodhaya samvattati.
Brilliant. Yeah. Now, you know, the as we always emphasize is, these were actually brought in the you know, by memorizing until very, you know, late. So therefore, it should be able to be chanted. So that's why, you know, that kind of chanting style is developed for that purpose. Yeah. So now you can see actually, you know, Pali, you know, because it is repetitive, there's a lot of repetitions. So once you actually understand, or actually, you know, crack one sentence properly, and then you can easily read out the rest. And it really, you know, one can do a good self-study. I mean, I think a lot of scholars have done the self-study of Pali, you know, working out these words slowly. Yeah. So the young monks actually, you know, really very young age, they memorize the sutras in this way. You know, actually very long. I mean, the Dhammachakra is, you know, fully memorized, and there are some monks actually who memorize. Did you know about a person called Dhammaruwan? Dhammaruwan?
Dhamruwan.
Is it? I think it is Dhammaruwan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dhammaruwan.
This time he was in Virginia, Bhanteji's temple, West Virginia.
Yeah. And if you type in Dhammaruwan,
YouTube, right?
yeah, Dhammaruwan. I think it is spelled as, I don't know.
I have his channel.
Yeah. So see, Dhammaruwan was a young. I mean, when he was 2.5 years, you know, 3 o'clock in the morning, he wakes up and he chants, like, you know, 3-year-old, and his father was very curious, you know, as to what is happening. And
the Dhamruwan, young.
Dhamruwan, yeah. Okay,
yeah.
This is the one, yeah. Okay, yeah. And very young age, he was chanting sutras after sutras after sutra, like, you know, and an Australian, you know, professor, he has recorded about 40 different, you know, those days cassette records of this person's chant. And he chants, and his chanting was so perfect. And I mean, you know, he didn't make any mistakes with the sutras. You know, now 3-year-old, you know, who has no understanding of Pali at all. You can actually, I mean, those recordings are now in, you know, in the internet. Now I think he's about 35, or I think it may be 40. He's
40.
yeah, 40 years
years.
now. Now he's a monk, I hear. Is he
No,
not?
he's practicing the Dhamma generosity and meditation.
Yeah.
Right now, practice his devotee.
Oh, okay.
Not
So
a
he's
Maybe
not a
one
monk
day.
now.
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay. So now, you know, when he was 3, he actually articulated, he pronounced the Pali words so perfectly. And then when he was asked how he memorized those, he said he was one of those old monks, 5th century. He was asked to memorize some sort of sutras, and he ended up memorizing, I mean, I think the entire Abhidhamma, you know, Abhidhamma, you know, I mean, it's so hard to hard to memorize, but you know, you could actually listen to him, you know, when, you know, in that age, like 3, 4, 5, and then later on, what happened was he forgot. This is what happened to you, you know, when you grow older. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are some people like that. Probably if you were born in Tibet, they would make you a Dalai Lama or something. but this guy chanted, you know, hundreds of sutras. And I actually have followed some of his sutras, his pronunciation and his, you know, it's very meaningful, and the right pose, right rhythm, everything. So it's really good case of rebirth. Yeah. Okay, folks, we got few more minutes. I would actually ask you if you, I'll be slowly giving you a little bit more homework to do. I know you are very busy. One of the you know, most hated thing about Pali was, I mean, when I was studying, you know, doing a lot of exercises. But so I would ask you, you know, just go to some of these readings, like from time to time, I will get to some of these exercises, you know, 5, 6, 7, like at least three, maybe I should start with one or two lessons. Now we actually did 1, 2, about 3 lessons, but maybe fourth one, if you do a bit of reading, so we could practice a bit. But at the same time, I don't want to make it really too Pali, but you know, with the sutras as well. Yeah. Any questions, comments?
But do you mean like to do exercises from lesson 4 in the book? Just lesson 4?
Yeah. Well, you know, just lesson 4. Just see if you can actually make a start of reading yourself. But it'll be I think what is really good about these lessons is there's lot of repetition. Because of the repetition, you will actually guess. So some of these words you already know, like the lobha, dosa, moha, you know, and then that will make it. I mean, I think the way they have chosen these lessons are, you know, repetitive, so that people can very easily guess and do a self-study. And another aspect is the verses, you know, like say the Dhammapada, for example. I mean, you know, there are some really nice verses in the lesson 4. You know, just see if you can actually read through
and try to translate or
sorry,
and translate it, like make sentences out of it.
No. I mean, I don't want. I mean, you know, if you can do that, that's great. But I want, you know, say if I ask you, say what is without help, would you be able to translate a paragraph like that? Yeah, kind of working it out for yourself. If I'm not, you know, I mean, you know, there's a glossary, there is some grammar as well. So see if you can actually have a look at lesson 4 for me. Yeah. And so we'll
just use the tools and at home do what we are doing now.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but at the same time, the concepts, the teaching concepts, and this is why, you know, why I'm sort of more interested in discussing the teaching like Majjhima Patipada, you know, Chattaro, you know, Chattaro Satipatthana, you know. So we would like to do some Satipatthana Sutta, and so on. So we will choose some crucial suttas and understand some of the critical, you know, more basic, you know, more fundamental concepts as well. Is that okay? Okay, so I'm sure Bhante is very. Are you bored? No. No. They have a lot of patience, a spiritual patience. Yeah, it's called Khanti Paramang Tapo, the greatest.
Nibbanam Paramang Vadante Buddha.
Yeah. So Khanti, the patience, is the greatest spiritual virtue. Khanti Paramang Tapo. Yeah. So I'm sure you have a lot of patience. There's a fantastic sutta, I mean, which I really want to. It is called Kakachupama Sutta. Kakachupama. Beautiful sutta. So perhaps we could read a little bits next few lessons. Yeah. So okay, folks. Any more questions?
I just want to say that I can't be there next week. I'm on retreat, okay. So I'll be seeing in a fortnight.
Okay, yeah, and that is another thing. So if you are going to be absent, please, if you know, let me know beforehand. So I will make a note of. I'm just sort of marking all your attendance, and you know, because as a university academic, I have to do that. Okay, your participation and your enthusiasm and the smile, everything matters. Okay.
I'm talking about good point. we call the Dhammacakka Sutta.
Yeah.
Short blessing.
Oh, yeah. Would you do a short blessing for us? Oh, how wonderful.
Everybody like it?
Oh, please. Yeah. No, I would love that. Yeah.
Chanting good wishes. You all health and wealth. Blessings with metta. Etang bhagavata varanasiyang isipatane mikadaye anuttarang dhamma chakkang pavattitang apativattiyang samanenava Brahmanena va devena va marena va brahmuna va kena chiva lokasmin te
Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu.
sadhu. Wonderful. That is actually the last blessing when the Buddha actually Buddha did deliver this Dhammacakka Sutta. There were beings from 31 realms of existence, and they rejoice in that, and so that's a really great blessing, and you're chanting really well. I'm sure you are one of those Dhammaruangs,
Dhammaruang.
Yeah. So
I know him.
because a very young age, so some monks develop these chanting skills, which is great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bhante. And the you can actually imagine on a moonlit night when this teaching was delivered to those 31 beings from 31 realms, and it was such an incredible image.
Yeah.
So the rejoicing, then the sutta says, these gods actually, the deities rejoice in that, and then that was heard by other lot, and then they rejoice, and then it's like sadhu, 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 going all around.
Saddhamma desana kale sadhu sadhu ti basata.
That's right. That's
Upato nibbattati gando uppalangma yatodagi, right? Good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, these monks actually memorize a lot of gatha, lot of verses, lot of sutras as well. Yeah. So, okay, folks, lovely to see you, and yeah. So stay safe and well. We'll see you next Tuesday. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bless you.
Sunil, shall I point out how to make these shortcuts in
Yes, please. Yeah, Lucian, yeah.
So if you would open the Google document.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you should go to let me see where it was. Oh yeah, extra. I think mine is in Dutch, but I hope extra in English is also called extra. You see the menu extra.
Hold on. I go to my Google Drive. Yes.
Yeah, you open the document. You open.
I open the
an arbitrary document.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just open the same. Okay. Yes, I open it.
Then there's in the menus there's an extra menu. Isn't there?
Oh yeah. Hold on. Extra.
Which menu titles do you have?
I have file, edit, view, insert, format, tools, add-ons.
Oh, I think it's called tools then. Yeah, like I said, mine is in Dutch, so it's all slightly different.
Yeah, okay.
So if you open tools, is there a preferences at the bottom?
Accessibility, preferences, yeah.
Okay. So if you then click preferences.
Yeah.
And then you got probably a tab that's called something like general.
Yes.
And then beside it there's something like, what's it called in English for you?
Substitution.
Substitutions, that's where you want to go.
Okay.
And there you can define which combination of characters is automatically replaced by the thing you want.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, yeah. All the okay. Do you have those shortcuts and characters? Yeah.
Yeah. So what I did is, for instance, if I want an A with a bar above, so the long A, then I have to get this long A from any other document. Just copy it from anywhere else.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where from, and then I put the long A in the right column.
Okay.
And in the left one, I put whichever characters I want to use as shortcut.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. Got you. Yes, I see. You are just actually replacing this character with this one, right? Yeah. And then it says, okay. Do you just say okay? Yeah. Replace A with A. I see. And then right.
And then if you, I don't know if you put something in there already now.
I put hold on. I don't. Yeah. So okay. So I have to get a long A from my document. Hold on. Let me do one or two. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see. So I have to first get that from the document. Okay. So they don't have, like in the other characters, like symbols, they don't have any symbols, do they? No.
I suppose they do. If there's an insert menu, and there you have something like special characters. That you can also use, but those aren't shortcuts. But then I don't know where to find the Pali character set.
Yeah, but if you have,
it might be there. But
say symbols, for example. Okay, there may be actually. Hold on, excuse me.
But then, sorry.
Yeah.
But I think that's more cumbersome, because then each time you have to go to the symbol thing.
Yeah, I think this is a shortcut. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But beware, it for me it only works if I put a space behind it. So it's you have to figure it out a bit when it works and when it doesn't. So what I did is, if you're in the document, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you see me typing now, don't you?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, okay. I'm deleting it now. So if I do -A, and then space, then this thing appears, But only if I hit the space bar. So now I typed -A and then space bar, and then it replaces it with the long A.
I see. Okay.
That's how it works.
Great. Yeah.
And for instance, .t space and .m space. So that's what the way I did it.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I have to do it in my computer, right?
I think, but try it. What happens if you type .t or -a space? What happens then?
Yeah, let's say just hold on, a space. No. Usually what I did was Control A, okay, gives me the long A, that sort of thing. That is how I copied it into the symbols.
Oh, is that possible also? Oh, I didn't think about that. To use the special, I don't know if it will work.
Yeah, insert, edit. Yeah, but at least that option is there. Let me play with it.
Yeah, you have to play with it and then find out if it suits you.
Yeah. No, thank you so much, Lucian. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, welcome.
Add shortcut to try. Okay, there are different. Gosh. Yeah. Oh, so thank you so much. And
you're welcome.
Yeah. Are you? Who are you? Are you an IT expert?
I was.
Yeah.
I've been working in software development, but there's little to do with this. We didn't use things like this, but I was a software developer, so yeah.
What are you now?
Well, at the moment I'm only self-employed, so I teach mindfulness and teach something called time surfing. It's a course in time management. And I have the Zen meditation group, and I have days of silent retreats and things like that.
No, fantastic.
But I am going to be a physics teacher again. That's what I'm going to do next year, probably.
Oh, okay.
So I've been a physics teacher before, and I want to go back to that actually.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. That's really nice. You're combining it with mindfulness, and I think the teaching profession can be very interesting with mindfulness and that sort of So
obviously it's great to teach people how to meditate. That's of course great thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, are you getting something from this course? Are you?
Yeah, a whole lot. It's I like to see the parallels between the Zen way of talking about Buddhism and let's say the classical way.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that the parallels are really strong.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And so I like. In the beginning, I had to get used to all this Lokia, Lokuttara stuff, but now it's kind of sinking in, especially today, I guess, seeing that this middle way is not in between, as you said, but not just, it's in the middle of many things. It's actually what in Zen is called not being stuck to a single truth.
No, that's a really good way. I mean, this is why I like different traditions. Different traditions express this in I mean, there is also a beautiful sutra in the Buddha says it is like somebody looking at a tree, but different times, like summertime and wintertime and springtime. It's the same tree, but the times different. And so the traditions kind of capture different aspects of it. And I kind of
I get it.
yeah. Excellent. So
No.
see you next
Yes.
time. Thank
See
you
you
for-
next week. Yeah. Thanks a
Yeah.
whole lot, and have a good week.
Yeah, thank you.
Sir and Mr.
Take care.
Nathan.
Take care. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Send me the link, sir. Okay.
Yeah. I will send you the link, Bhante.
Yeah.